Hello duelists, Rustmarrow here, and today we are going to be opening the brand new structure deck R of the Yugioh OCG, Curse of the Dark. Alright, so now it's time to take a look at this deck proper. So first of all, we are starting with the brand new boss monster, the evolution of Diabolos, the Demon King of Darkness, Diabolos. So I have to say, first of all, this artwork is just extremely sick. It's such a badass dark attribute style looking dragon, and I'm super happy about being able to add it to my collection. But now let's talk about the effects. First, this card is both pretty strong offensively and defensively, I feel. Defensive-wise, this card can't be targeted with card effects, and your opponent also cannot tribute it. Other than that, looking at its offensive attributes, this monster has two effects. First of all, its first effect allows it to be summoned extremely easily, I feel. When a dark monster you control is, if a dark monster you control is tributed, you can special summon this card from the graveyard or the hand. And secondly, this card allows you to tribute one dark monster and forces your opponent to place one card from their hand on either the top or bottom of their deck. So not only is this card pretty strong offensively, defensively, and pretty easy to summon, it can also wreck your opponent's card advantage as well. Up next, we've got another brand new card, which is actually the King of Evil, Ahrima. So Ahrima is a pretty cool and important engine for this deck. First of all, when this card is in your hand, you can discard it in order to add a copy of the brand new Dark Support field spell Shadow Dystopia from your deck to your hand. And when this card is on the field, once per turn, you can tribute a dark monster in order to draw a card, adding to your hand advantage. But if you tributed a dark monster other than this card, you can add a dark monster with 2000 or more defense from your deck to your hand instead. So of course that allows you to easily pull your trump card, the brand new Diabolos, from your deck into your hand so that you can summon it at any time. I think by this point you guys can already see the trend that this brand new deck is actually supposed to focus on the mechanic of tributing your own monsters in order to gain advantage and trigger effects. So up next here, we've got of course the card that Ahrima calls from the deck. It's basically the brand new dark field spell, the Dark World Shadow Dystopia. So basically, if you're going to be very interested in the mechanic of this deck, you'll definitely want to buy extra copies of this Shadow Dystopia, because I think it's one of the most key cards along with Ahrima that actually make this deck work. First of all face-up monsters on the field become dark, which is the essential condition for your tribute effects to activate, which allows you to, so basically if you have this field spell on, you can basically add like utility cards that aren't dark attribute, because this card will turn them into dark attribute, making it possible for you to tribute them in order to activate your monster effects. And once per turn, if you tribute a monster or monsters to activate a card or effect, you can tribute one dark monster your opponent controls as if you control it. So that goes in line with the first effect and sort of like adding extra hurt to the opponent even though you're already gaining advantage. And once per turn during the end phase, you can special summon as many shadow tokens as possible to the turn player's field in defense position, up to the number of monsters that were tributed this turn while this card was face up on the field. So in general, what this field spell manages to do with its final effect is, of course, it can either give you or your opponent more fodder. On your side of the field, this deck is more geared towards like normal summoning high level monsters, other than Diabolos of course, which you kind of want to special summon. So that gives you more ingredients to normal summon high level monsters and link summon if you want, and it gives the opponent more fodder that you can use to tribute instead of your own monsters in order to initiate the effects, thanks to this field spell's effect as well. But of course you have to be careful of that, because if you give your opponent too much materials, they'll obviously be able to use them to turn it back against you. So up next, I mean, this deck is all about tributing, right? So there's actually a lot of the return of reprints of the Deck Destruction Virus cards, but this is one of the brand new one, and this is the Deck Destruction Virus of Evil. So what exactly does this brand new Deck Destruction Virus do? Tribute one dark monster with 3000 or less attack, which is basically anything in your deck. Your opponent destroys one card in their hand and or deck for every 500 attack the tributed monster had on the field. Also, if you tributed a monster with 2000 or more attack, check all cards your opponent draws until the end of their third turn after this card's activation and destroy all monsters among them. Cards destroyed and sent to the graveyard by this card's effect cannot activate their effects during the turn they were destroyed. So with that attack, with the bonus effect activated if you trigger a monster with a very high attack, obviously this card goes well, extremely well in fact, with the brand new Diabolos card that's the boss monster of this deck, especially since your Diabolos, once it's tributed, can easily be resummoned from the graveyard. So comboing those two cards together is probably what I feel is like the most destructive, like not battle based pattern that this deck is supposed to go for in order to really crush your opponent's deck and damage their resources. Up next, we've got a brand new card, and this is the King of Shadows, Duke Shade. Alright, so basically you can special summon this card by tributing any number of dark monsters, and this card will gain 500 attack for each of the monsters you tributed. And when this card is normal or special summon, you can target one level 5 or higher dark monster in your graveyard in order to add it to your hand, getting back that Diabolos, unless of course it will be better for you to keep it in the graveyard depending on the situation. And you cannot special summon the monsters that you cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate either of those effects except dark monsters. So this card has quite some synergy together with Shadow Dystopia, since that card really allows you to get a lot of dark attribute tokens on the field, and you can use them as fodder in order to make this guy a really powerful beater. Although I guess the max you'll be able to pull it up to is just about 3000, which isn't that amazing compared to just being able to special summon Diabolos. So I think now we are moving into the realm of reprints already, and we are starting off with a really cool one. Here we've got Mega Monarch Caius, definitely one of my favorite monarchs, really nice to see him there. Here we've got Hellway Patrol, got Phantom of Chaos, Allure of Darkness, and here's we've got the Deck Destruction Virus of Darkness, I think, yep. And here we have the original Diabolos, reduced to only being a common in this deck, and Lich Lord, Prometheus, the King of Darkness. And here we've got Genesis Demon, his English name is probably very different. And here we've got True Maju Gazette, Vanity's Fiend, of course, in order to block those annoying special summons, Mist Demon, Hell Dragon, Demon Knight, Plague Wolf, a Dark Rhinoceros Warrior, Kuri Bandit, and of course Tour Guide, and Backjack, Sakuribo. And now I guess that's all for the monsters. Return of Nightmare, Hand Destruction. I can't translate the name of this card on the spot. I can't remember what his name was. Boogie Trap, spell that summons those like Inferno tokens. Prohibition. Here we've got the Deck Destruction Virus of Death. I think all the viruses are coming now, yes. Here we've got the Deck Destruction of... Alright, a lot of the kanji here is like, they sort of have similar meaning, but this one, I guess we'll just call it the Deck Destruction of... Demonic Deck Destruction Virus. Deck Destruction Virus of Shadows. Here we've got the Radiant Darkness. And the Trap from Darkness. Pardon me if I get some of the English names of these cards wrong, because I mainly play the OCG and I'm just trying to translate them on the spot. Mind Crush, the Rising of the King, Curse of Darkness, of course. Well, I have no idea how to translate this, but apparently in the TCG it's Sinister Yorishiro. And now, yes, we've got a Shadow token. This is such a badass looking token card. I mean, just look at it. So these are basically like the crazy demonic monsters that Shadow Dystopia is supposed to spawn on your field and the opponent's side of the field. And finally, we've got a brand new card in the Demon Princess Lilith. So Lilith is basically another important functional engine card for this deck, which really helps you to source out your deck destruction viruses, whichever one you feel fits the best for the situation at hand. So basically this card allows you to tribute one dark monster to reveal 3 normal traps from your deck. Your opponent randomly picks one for you to set to the field, and you shuffle the rest of them to the deck. But of course, you're only allowed to use this effect once per turn. Also, do take note that when this monster is normal summon, its attack only becomes 1000, so I guess that's the one drawback of normal summoning it, to use its effect. Normally, I mean, ideally you'd want to be able to special summon it from the hand somehow, or preferably from the grave, because I mean, Dark Attribute, all about special summoning from the grave. So that'll be the end of this Curse of the Dark opening. If you enjoyed this structure deck R opening, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for future Yu-Gi-Oh! OCG product openings on the day they release. And of course, do leave a comment in the comment section down below letting me know what you guys think about the brand new Diabolos and about this whole brand new structure deck R as a whole, and whether you guys will be picking it up once it comes out on your side, whether in the OCG or in the TCG. And now, before I end the video, I'd just like to mention upcoming releases. So in 2 weeks time, we'll be getting the brand new structure deck, the brand new starter deck for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains era, and that will feature the brand new Earth Attribute Talker. So make sure to subscribe if you guys don't want to miss that, and hope to see you guys in the next Yu-Gi-Oh! Video. Let's access the spinning, swirling data storm.
And with the wind, our hearts are made to